When I started serving my time in Jimmy Noble of Fraserburgh at the age of 15, I was in the happy position, or maybe the unhappy position, of acquiring quite a substantial tool set right away. What had happened, my great uncle had died 3 or 4 months before I started serving my time, and my dad managed to negotiate with his wife to buy his tools. The box that the tools are in just now, that you're looking at, was made for me in the joiner's shop, and what tools I didn't have, the boss supplied, and then I had to pay him off at a minimal amount of a week out of my wages. And when you look closely at the array of tools in the box, some of them were in everyday use, and some of them would have just been used occasionally in jobs like when you were out on repairs and various jobs like that, not always in the building of the actual boat itself. As we move along, you will see the adze with its handle. Now there is 2 adzes there, and they are slightly varied shape, and then the handle, you could shape it to how you found best position to use it in for yourself. So every carpenter didn't have the same shape of adze nor the same shape of handle. Beside it you can see this sharpening stone, which was in play quite a lot. Some of the older stones had been used so much that there was quite a dent in them through their use over the years, as you really needed to keep your adze with a good sharp blade in it. This is my hammer. I think I paid 5 bob for it when it was brand new, and of course with driving the nails you used it a lot. Coming along now is your boring tools. There was always an auger at hand in the boatyard, and also you needed some of these long drills depending on the depth of wood you were working with. There's just a variety of drills here. If you look closely on the front, you will see the drill, which was the expanding bit with a screw right in the center, so that as you put in the blade and adjusted it to your length, you could tighten the screw. Of course, a lot of these tools now are old hat, because electricity has brought everything so much forward, and with the new tools and new boring bits, you would be laughed out of the town now if you appeared with some of these, especially if you was doing a job in a house. Here is my caulking tools. Again, they'd be a lot older than me, having come from my great uncle. In the front is the box with the oakum, where you put oil in it and you had to dip your tools in it so it would move smoothly along the seam when you were putting oakum into the seam. Also you'll see there a bent tool, which was for awkward corners, and there's also a tool beside it which were opening the joint if they were very tight. Sometimes when you were dressing the plank you didn't get the joint as open as you would like, so before you put the oakum in you had to go along with this tool and open it up. Next to that is the mallet. Now these mallets, sometimes they sung like a linty, and the next time they were dead as a doornail. So you got various sounds from all the different mallets when the men were caulking the boat. Also there you see a device for cleaning out the seams. If any spells or sawdust or rubbish had got in your seam, you really needed to clean it out before you started putting in the oakum. Also there is an old leather tape which you would have used to measure up the planks before you shaped them and see that they were a right length for going onto the boat. Here we have an assortment of planes. Again, with the shape of the plank depending, you had to use a flat plane or one of these smaller planes to go into the shape you were needing. This chisel is a chisel for breaking out when you were repairing a boat. You would go along and you would use this steel chisel to break out all the old planking, and then if you hit a nail by mistake, it didn't much matter because you could go and put a new face in it. There's a rasp linus alongside it which occasionally you would have to use. Now this crowbar here is only an example of what we had to use. The one that we used quite a lot was actually 2 inches thick, so this poor thing here wouldn't have been any use to us in the boatyard. We now have the article for